It's time for power rankings and Pickems for EMEA and America, so let's get right into it. First up with EMEA, I think S tier is pretty easy. Obviously, Fnatic first up. They placed second at Masters Toronto. They also won stage 1. They clearly look like the hottest team coming into stage 2 in EMEA. But there are two teams that could realistically compete with Fnatic, and these two are Heretics and Team Liquid. Now, I don't know if I want to put all three of them in S tier, but I think the Trex pickup for Team Liquid is really good. I think Trex was one of the best performing players in Vitality in kickoff actually, and also all last year he was really good at Vitality. So I think he's an insane pickup, and I think he's gonna fit right in with the team and make and like he puts Team Liquid, in my opinion, up from being a team that can compete at internationals to a team that could actually win internationals. And Heretics, I think they are just a really good team. They obviously did not perform well at Masters Toronto, but they didn't have as much time to prep as other teams did. And yeah, also they kind of have that finals curse. So I may just put Heretics in A tier actually. Oh, do I leave them in S tier? I'm really unsure. So next up, I would put BBL in A tier. They came fourth, obviously, in stage 1, and they looked like the fourth best team in EMEA during stage 1. And they didn't make any changes. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't perform again. So yeah, that's why I'm going with BBL in A tier. Then I think the next couple of teams are stepped down and should be B tier actually. I think we have realistically Foot, KC. You could argue Vitality and Gentlemates, I believe. I think KC are they're a tricky team kind of. Just from the individuals, they should be better than like a 5th, 6th. But realistically, that's kind of how they ended up. And Sadak's calling didn't quite work thus far in EMEA. Foot got CNET now instead of other captain. So I think I'm not quite sure how that's gonna work, because Zeus is still gonna play duelist. So I don't know if they will just force double duelist on every single map, or how it's gonna go with that. But that actually makes me have less belief in Foot overall. So then Vitality, it seems like they went a bit away from their super team-ish team and tried to have like a more cohesive team. And I think they will look better than they did in stage 1, but I still don't quite have any faith in them. And with Gentlemates, I think the changes that they made, they picked really insane players, like probably the best free agents that were available. Betty G, I think especially, is gonna perform really well, so I might actually put them up a bit. I think they have a shot at going a bit further in the playoff stage than Vitality and Foot maybe. So that's where I would land with them. Then next up, I will put Navi and Giant X. I think these teams arguably could compete with like the lower end of B tier. I think these teams are very fine in how they're constructed. I think Ara and Flickless looked really good when we saw them. And Navi also made good changes. So I think kind of the floor overall of EMEA increased a bit now in going into stage 2. But yeah, with how the other teams look, I think these two will not make playoffs. And then lastly in D tier, I will put Koi and Apex. I'm gonna put Koi in C tier as well. I think Koi also has a decent roster, and I think all three of these teams have a realistic shot at making playoffs. Apex is the only team that I don't have any trust in out of the EMEA teams. They picked up Penny from Team Liquid, who subbed in for Team Liquid, but I don't think there's any way that they can realistically make playoffs. They just seem like the doomed team in EMEA who's just gonna come in last. So yeah, that's what my power ranking for EMEA looks like. Let's now take a quick look at the map elo for these teams and their overalls and what they look like coming into stage 2, even though it's not gonna say a lot realistically because there are 2 new maps coming in, but we're still gonna take a quick look and then do the Pickems after. So this is what the map elos look like, their overall ratings, and up here the elo ratings on the maps, each of the maps. And as you can see, it's for EMEA actually quite decent. You have Fnatic at the top, then Heretics and Liquid, then you have K-Corp and Vitality and BBL then, all three of them really close by each other. Obviously Team Liquid being a bit high since they were really good on Bind back when it was played during kickoff, when Vitality was still performing within EMEA. And then you have Giant X, Foot, Navi and Koi, also Gentlemates, all like fairly close to each other. And then lastly Apex just being a step below the other teams. I think these elos overall are actually quite decent coming into stage 2, and I think they're gonna get better with each week. But yeah, that's what they look like thus far. And now let's head into the Pickems for EMEA. So these are the Pickems for week 1. We first up have Navi against Apex. It's actually probably Apex's best shot at winning a match, but I'm still gonna go with Navi. I think they're gonna have a nice game to get some confidence for the rest of stage 2. A game where they can test a little bit on their maps, and yeah, I think they're gonna feel really good about having Apex in week 1. Then Vitality against Giant X. This game could be kind of close, but it depends how highly Ara and Flickless are gonna frag maybe. But I think Vitality now, with like having a more cohesive team, I think Dirke and Les are gonna perform incredible. And yeah, I think they're gonna win this one. Then Foot against Gentlemates. This really could go either way. But I'm gonna pick Gentlemates. I've actually more belief in the team. I don't feel great about the CNET pickup for Foot. I don't know how it's gonna work, the situation with the duelist, as I've talked about before. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Gentlemates for this. Next up, I'm gonna pick Team Liquid above Koi. I think that's an easy one. Team Liquid should have a easy start into stage 2. Team Heretics against BBL could actually be a fairly close one, to be honest. And maybe BBL has like a bit of an edge in terms of preparation, since Team Heretics went to EWC, I believe. So I'm actually gonna go for the upset, BBL winning against Team Heretics here. But I wouldn't be surprised if Heretics wins this. I think Heretics would win this match if they were equally prepped, but I'm gonna go with BBL as a prep gap and will be victorious. Then next up, Fnatic, I think, are just gonna beat K-Corp. The Fnatic have been the best team within EMEA, and yeah, Carmine Corp has been struggling, so I don't think there's a world where they win. I think Fnatic just take this one. And yeah, this concludes my Pickems. And yeah, let's continue with the power rankings for Americas. So for Americas power rankings, I think first up, G2 are still the strongest team. They probably didn't perform to their own expectations, at least not to the general public's expectation of how they would perform at Toronto, only coming in 4th place. But they've been dominating Americas all year long, so I don't see a world where they don't continue to do so within Americas. Then next up, I also have Sentinels at A tier. They've been performing really well, have been constantly the second best team within Americas, and I have no doubt that these two teams will dominate Americas yet again. Then next up, I have MIBR in A tier. They have been performing horribly at Toronto, but they've been really good in stage 1, and I don't see a reason why they shouldn't continue performing that well in Americas. Now, further on, I think is a bit tricky. I think there are a lot of teams you could put roughly at like the same position within B tier, but I don't think any of these teams really is A tier. I think EG, Crew, NRG, and probably C9 I would put in B tier. I think I would put them exactly in that order. EG has been performing or has come 4th in stage 1. Crew with Dante Deus, I think he's really good. I think he might actually bump them up to A tier, but do we see any official matches? I'm not 100% certain, but they could for sure end up being the 4th best team within Americas. NRG with Scuba should be looking better. They should be trying to get to champs but make playoffs for sure. And yeah, C9 I think are just a solid playoffs team. Then next up I would put 100 Thieves, Loud, and Lev. Now the order of how I would put them, I think I would put actually Lev, then 100 Thieves, then Loud. I'm not a fan of the Robbie BK pickup. I don't know what this is about. I have no trust that it's gonna work out well. Yeah, I think Loud kind of has to prove that the whole Robbie BK pickup makes sense. To me it doesn't really, because he doesn't speak the language, and him being an IGL, so I don't quite know how it's supposed to really work out. And then I've got Furia and 2G in D tier, who have been kind of performing at that level all year long. But I for sure have the least knowledge about America's teams, so I could just be really wrong about a lot of this, and just be down on the region as a whole. But yeah, these are my power rankings for Americas. So now let's take a quick look at the map elos for the Americas teams. So these are the map elos, or the elo ratings overall for Americas. Up here the individual maps, and this being the overalls. And you can see G2 Sentinels reign at the top, then EG and Crew, followed by Cloud and Cloud9, then 100 Thieves, Lev, Furia, and Loud, and NRG. MIBR obviously being down here because they performed horribly at Masters Toronto. That really kicked down their elo rating, and yeah, this is obviously the most out of place. They should be at least up like fourth or third, but they have no place being 11th. But this will obviously work itself out the more games we get within stage 2, and even next week it's going to look better for sure. But this is what it looks like right now, in case you guys were interested. So now let's head into the Pickems for Americas. And these are the games within week 1. We've got Cloud9 against Furia first up. I think Cloud9 is gonna take that win. It could be a close one, but I don't think Furia is gonna do a whole lot. And Cloud9 are just a more solid team in my opinion. So yeah, then moving on to Lev versus Loud. Even though Lev has not been performing great this year at all, and even though Loud has played kind of well with Luke Show at the end of stage 1, and I think Luke Show is really insane, but as I've said previously, I don't have faith in the Robbie BK pickup. I don't know how it's supposed to work. I don't think it will work, so I'm gonna go with Lev here. Then next up, EG should win against 2G. That's an easy match pick for me. MLBR against Crew, it could be really close. It could be a really close match, but I will still go with MIBR. I think Aspaz is gonna perform again within Americas, and the team will set them up better than they did at Toronto. And yeah, I think MIBR will kind of have a bit of a bounce back within stage 2, and yeah, will look a bit more on the up than they did within than they did at Masters Toronto. Then next up, 100 Thieves against NRG. This could also be a really close one. I think it's pretty much a 50-50 on which team you favor, and I would go with NRG. I think the scuba pickup is gonna be fairly decent, so yeah, I'm gonna go with NRG. And then we get a banger in Sentinels against G2. And yeah, I think G2 will just continue their winning ways within Americas. Even though Sentinels are the number one competition, I'm gonna go with a G2 win here. And so these are my Pickems done. I hope I have a lot of success with them. I hope we're gonna get a lot of great matches, and I wish you guys luck with your Pickems as well. And I'll see you guys next time.